Ever since I got into real estate, I realized that in order to go further, faster, I needed someone to do the things that I hadn't done before.
As a realtor or a broker, talk to me about investing into yourself. Like, what does that look like for you these days?
Oh, it looks like my beautiful morning routine.
Oh, yeah. Here right now with my good friend, Latoria Williams. How you doing today, my girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite excellent. Thank you for asking. So we're here right now, man, at our Rancho Cucamonga location.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And this is an incredible opportunity for us to really sit down and talk and, you know, share some things that you've been going through, share some of your knowledge with some of the world, some of your audience.
Yes.
So I do know that you partnered up and started a new brokerage.
Yep.
What's the name of the brokerage?
Anomaly Real Estate.
Anomaly. I love it. I love it. And how did that name even come about?
Jacob. So one of the co-founders, it's myself, Gabriel, and Jacob. And just through some collaboration, and we call Jacob the CDO. He's like the chief aesthetics officer, very creative. And so he really brought that name out, and it just represents what we're looking to be, which is the exception to the rule.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of things that are rooted in that: philanthropy, innovation, not settling for pretty much basic, striving for the best. And so, that's what we're building.
Yeah, and I wanted to take some time to shout out Jacob, shout out Gabriel. I mean, these are two, incredible individuals who are thinkers and innovators and action takers.
Yes.
So you said that this company is rooted in philanthropy. Like, talk to me a little bit about what it means to give back and how important that is.
Yeah, so as you know, Prosperity Homes, that's really, we give back. Every home that is sold, so much of what we do is to give back to build homes in Ensenada, Mexico. And so that has been a pillar of this company since before I started. We used to be Legacy Real Estate Group, and so just deeply rooted in building homes for families, which typically are mothers and children. And so not only donating funds, but also going down and building homes for families that are in need. And so just having a heart to give back because we've been given so much. I think it'll always be a pillar that we stand on.
Wow, that's incredible. And you have 2 children, correct?
I do.
And have any one of your children been on the build with you?
Yes, my son Michael, he's gone. Yeah, he went last year. Last year? I think November of last year, he went with me, and it was incredible. There were a number of kids on that trip, and to see them show up ready to help, but also enjoying each other because they are kids, the kids that went with us and the locals there. It was just a beautiful thing. And then knowing that he was able to experience part of what we do here, like firsthand.
Yeah. So like, what did that do for you as a parent to bring your child from California, take them to Ensenada, Mexico, and then see your child actually being able to give back to other children in need? Like, what did that do for you as a parent?
Oh, I was so proud and grateful. I always say that I'm blessed to be a blessing. Everything that I do, I'm seeking the Lord's approval. Am I doing the right thing? And because we've been given so much, to be able to give back, and so much of our day to day is out serving and working, and so to bring our kids alongside of us to see exactly what we're doing, hands on, and to also be exposed to the fact that not everyone lives like we live, so that he also gets to count his blessings, but really experience what that looks like and feels like up close and personal. It was amazing.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So being an entrepreneur woman at that, how hard is it to remain in your faith? Like, I know we're always go, busy. We have the business, we have the kids, but still, we have to root ourselves, like you said, in our faith. How is that balance with you, with business, family, and faith?
It's what I stand on. I actually think it would be harder if I did it.
Wow.
It would be, I don't know, I joke, I don't know who I was talking to because I've said this a few times, but I don't know how people live in this world without the faith. Like, especially as an entrepreneur, I was watching something on Instagram and it talked about like entrepreneurship is a faith walk. Like everything that we do is rooted in, Lord, help me get these sales. I pray that the people show up. I pray that I'm able to offer value. I pray that, this transaction closes. Obviously our efforts and our work are at hand, but it's a prayer every day. We're stepping out on faith to create money. Like, it's not being given like that. Like, we're literally, prospecting and all the things to create currency out of thin air almost.
Wow.
So it's because of my faith, I feel that I've been able to sustain and be just where I am today.
Wow, that's incredible. And like as I get into higher and higher situations, meeting higher and higher elevated people, I do realize that faith it's really, it's really prominent in that on those levels. It was a time where I always thought like the higher you get, the more evil it gets. But actually, the higher I've been getting, and the more people I've been surrounding myself around with, the more positive and the more faith-based it gets. People are rooted in their religious belief. They're rooted in the story, the Bible, and everything like that, and they really incorporate these things into their business, and that's important from what I've been seeing. Now, here's the thing, right? So, you've been in real estate for how many years now?
Going into my seventh. Yeah,
Seventh
6 and
year.
a half, going into my 7th year.
Wow. Now, when you first started in real estate, like, what was it like? Is it like you're coming into it, it's this beast, you don't know what to expect, people telling you this, people telling you that, and as time goes on, you realize that there's certain things that just remain the same if you want to, make money in this business. What are some of those things that are just like crucial to making money in business? In real estate business?
That's so great. It's the fundamentals, and I got into real estate, and I was just talking to an agent yesterday who just got licensed, and they're looking at, okay, what type of calling system should I have? What type of lead generation? I'm like, okay, first of all, there are a lot of shiny objects. You're going to be hit with a lot of things, but the fundamentals are relationships, talking to people, picking up the phone, not being a secret agent, letting people know the business that you do, and being diligent about your time, like your schedule. I think those things are tried and true. Identifying like what are your primary lead generators, like what can you lock in with and not be bouncing back and forth, trying one thing here and then a month later you're over here. It's like, no, lock in and focus. And so I think it's just the fundamentals, picking up the phone, calling people, building relationships, doing what you say you're going to do, circling back. Staying in contact.
Gotcha. So let's go a little bit deeper into that. Like, what are some lead generation tactics, companies, techniques that you can actually use for an agent that's really out there, maybe struggling, maybe looking to get back into the business? Like, and they want to hear, well, what are some of the things that you're doing to be successful in real estate? Like, break down some of these things. Like, give like the company names that you may be using. Give, like if you're door knocking, talk a little bit about that experience. If you're cold calling, talk a little bit about that. Database calling, like go deeper and explain to the people what it is that us realtors and brokers actually do to acquire business.
Yeah, personally, I've always believed in start with the people that know, love, and trust you. Like we have, if you look in your phone, I don't even know how many thousands of people that I have in my phone. I look at my my networks, my church, my SOI, my family, and my friends. Like those people that know, love, and trust you, that want to support you. As long as they know what you're doing and you're being a good steward of that business, they will refer business to you. But the key with them is to not only call to say, do you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell? It's maintaining relationships, being interested in them, and so definitely your SOI, your past, if you don't have any clients, your SOI, if you do have clients, your past clients. It's called a top 50, where these 50 people, the goal is to touch on them every single month, whether that's a phone call, which is primary, a face-to-face, newsletter, a handwritten card, a pop-by handwritten note. Engaging with them on social media. And so having these people that they know what you're in the business to do, they know that if a referral situation comes up, you're the person to call. If you have a farm, I think everyone should have a farm. I'd always recommend your farm be where you live or somewhere you frequent. Maybe if you have kids, next to your kid's school or in your neighborhood, so that it's consistent, so that it's not out of the way. You're already in the community, so you can speak with expertise in what's happening in the community. Fax is a really great direct mailing system that you can use for direct mail. Also just tapping into, like we have a person that does flyers. And so creating a schedule where you're consistently getting flyers. And within the farm, also doing events. Demisha and I, in our farm, this will be our 5th annual food drive that we're doing, and we do it every November for Thanksgiving, where we do a food drive, and the donations go to 2 local churches, or my church and then a local church. And so tapping into the farm, like being an expert there. I think everyone should have a farm. If you are going to do cold calling or FSBOs, Mojo or RedX are good calling systems.
Okay.
We've used both of them, but I recommend just be persistent, because it's so easy to get these tools and not make the phone calls, and you're still paying the bill. And so I think that's my only issue with getting things like that, is just make sure that you're diligent. And so before someone invests in a calling system, I say reach out to your title rep, because they can provide you with a free list, and you can start there and building the habits of making the daily calls and door knocking based on that.
Wow.
And then social media is a must. I think we talked about this a little bit, like I'm on social media, but only to really connect with people, so making it a habit to go in and comment, like, share, DM the people, that are in your sphere, to really connect with them.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. So you talk about investing into systems as a realtor or a broker. Talk to me about investing into yourself. Like, what does that look like for you these days?
Oh, it looks like my beautiful morning routine.
Break it down for me.
Yeah, so my routine, it's really, I love having you have to start with a nighttime routine. So it starts at night to prepare for the morning. So at night, that's making sure that, I'm prepared. Lunches are prepared, because, we brown bag it over here. Lunches are prepared. The next day plan is already prepared. My workout clothes are prepared. I don't go to sleep without my gym clothes being ready, because I'm setting the intention for when I wake up, this is the first thing that I'm doing.
Wow.
And so having that nighttime routine that rolls into the morning, every day is like a fresh start, literally a fresh start. And when you start off with exercising, prayer, meditation, and reading the word, it is literally a fresh start every day. And it's a way to get grounded and to just really reset. And so my morning routine is that. I wake up and I exercise. I used to try and pray first, but I will fall back asleep because it's so early. And so I'm like, I have to get up and start moving, and then get into prayer and meditation, and then working on some type of system that's setting up the business, or just something productive for the business before the day starts. And I love the morning time, because it's the one time of day where no one should be calling. It's too early to talk to people. And so you can really use that time to focus on what your agenda is, instead of getting into everyone else's, because as soon as your phone starts ringing, you're kind of on everyone else's time, especially if you're not managing your own well.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's like a lot of parents out there who have trouble with a morning or a night routine, because it's just so chaotic and they're used to the chaos. Like, was there ever chaos in the household in regards to like the morning routine, where you're like, well, wait a minute, let me boil this thing down? And then what was the strategy and the techniques you used to really buckle it down?
That's so good. So I remember the hardest part was when my son was an infant, because there's no structure with infants, and as he was like even 3 and 4 months. And so I was always reacting to what time he woke up, because it would always be earlier than the time I woke up. So the first goal was to get him, once he was trained and kind of on a schedule, my goal is to wake up before my kids wake up. I never wake up after they wake up. Wow. So by the time they wake up, I'm already set for the day. Things are kind of moving, and I can welcome them into the day with joy, and I'm not stressed, because I'm getting ready, they're getting ready. Like, I'm already, by the time my son wakes up, all he has to do is like, okay, you get ready, and then take these things to the car, because they're already kind of laid out. Wow. And so that's made a huge difference, especially like waking them up to start the day well. Like, you don't want to wake them up into a stressful environment, and so you have to get up before the kids get up. And, I think about Proverbs 31 woman, where like she's up before the household is up, preparing for the day. And so, you have to.
So is it hard being an entrepreneur woman in an industry full of men?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's just as hard for anyone who's not prepared for it. I think you could be a man and still struggle if you're not, stewarding over your business. And there's a lot of powerful women in real estate. So and maybe it's because I don't see it as a male-driven industry. You know, I see so many women who are successful and who are paving ways and who are role models that I've always looked up to, or that I just see out in this space. And so I don't see it that way, but I tend to be tunnel vision sometimes.
Gotcha. So, you know, I have a few coaches, and I invited you onto a call not too long ago. And, you know, one of my coaches is Tim Story. And I invited you onto a Zoom call. It was about 200 women and men, the first time World Shakers ever invited women onto the call. And it was something that resonated with you from what Tim Story was speaking about, something that resonated with you from the whole group. And then you ended up actually signing up for coaching. Is that correct?
I did.
And why? Like, why did you end up signing up with Tim Story as a coach?
Well, thank you again for inviting me. It was really great. And I just believe I've been seeking different environments. You know, I realize that you are the sum total of the people that you're around, and moving into more leadership roles, I realize that there's a responsibility to stretch myself and to just be as best prepared as I can for the people that I'm looking to support. And so that means that I need to get in different rooms. I need to have different conversations, and I just enjoy learning. I just always have. And so I've always had a coach. Ever since I got into real estate, I realized that in order to go further, faster, I needed someone to do the things that I hadn't done before. Wow. And so I'm in a space now where just based on how my life is moving, I just feel like I have a fresh start to like reset. Yeah. And it's like, okay, let's get in spaces with people who are just elevated. Yeah. And why not? Like you can't, I just find it hard to be invited to an environment like that and to hear what I heard and to leave and have not taken any action.
Wow. What was some things that you heard? Like, what was it that like really triggered the mind to say, I need to take action now?
Oh, yeah. What's up, my future real estate moguls? Welcome to Brokerage Systems, which stands for Plug and Play Real Estate, where we're all about helping you shine in any market. I'm Francis John Nunez, and I am absolutely thrilled you decided to stop by. Imagine having compelling letters ready to go for off-market prospecting, client acquisition, referrals, buyer and seller correspondence, and so much more. It's like having a secret weapon in your real estate arsenal. But hold on, because we got something even more exciting for you. For a limited time, we're offering our complete real estate letter bundle, not for the regular price of $1,798, but for an exclusive price of $298. Inside the bundle, you'll find over 300 letter templates that cover every aspect of the real estate game. Each template is crafted to captivate and engage your audience, saving you time and ensuring that the message hits right on time every time. And all you have to do is put your name on it, your email, phone number, and DRE number. Isn't this wonderful? But look, here's the real game changer. You can now take your marketing to the next level effortlessly. Just add your information, change the photos, and customize the colors to align with your personal brand. Elevate your brand and captivate your audience with a diverse range of templates. Don't miss out. Seize this opportunity now. Upgrade to the complete package and transform your real estate promotions like never before. Just click on the link below and unlock the power of over 70 templates for today's exclusive price. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to what fellow real estate professionals are saying about how these letters help transform their real estate business.
I just got the Brokerage system, phenomenal system, a lot of value to it.
Here outdoor knocking today, we're gonna do 25 doors at least. We have our pop rate systems with us.
And the pop rate system is amazing.
I started to really sit down and look at, okay, well, what are some of the areas that I wanna focus on? I'm like, wow, this program has everything and more.
Dude, if you're a new realtor in the business or even a seasoned realtor who's been in the business for a while, you wanna check out his content. Full of content, he has a vault full of content. It'll help generate more business for you.
Like, I am a new agent, but it's helped me get through my process pretty simple. Like, I don't have to feel any anxiety that I'm messing something up or saying the wrong thing.
I'm a new agent, so I feel like this is gonna blow up my business.
If you're a real estate agent and don't have the pop rate system, you're missing out.
Brokerage Systems, I want to thank you so much. Everything that I do, all I have to do is just plug my name in and boom, start sending away. I really appreciate you. This is an awesome system.
And I think what I love most is the intention behind it. Like, it's built by, realtors for realtors. And it's just a full circle program. And so just want to share that. I love it. So, and I think you will too.
So check it out. I think it's worth every time and every penny you're gonna spend on it. And if you don't try, you will never know.
Get it today, order it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. This is a really good system.
Here's to your success. See you on the other side.
What was some things that you heard? Like, what was it that like really triggered the mind to say, I need to take action now?
Yeah, for one, everyone that spoke seemed to be high producing individuals, like high net worth individuals, talking about the books that they're reading and the relationships and just some of the lessons that they've learned through the relationships, some of the things that I'm actually navigating and, helping to support others as they navigate it. As they navigate through it as well. And so I just felt like, okay, these are conversations that I want to be a part of.
Wow. Yeah. And I commend you because not only did you take advantage of that, but you also got your son into coaching as well. So, we're part of the 50 Degree Academy with David Williams and Tim Story. And I invited you and your son onto that call. And tell me about his experience when he came onto a call with kids his age that were learning how to financially navigate through the world.
Yeah, he loved it. I picked him up from school because of the time difference. Like literally it was right after school. So we get on the call and I had prepped him. I told him, okay, you're gonna be on this call, with kids your age. He's like, well, how old are they? And so when we got on, I said, well, they look to be about your age. And so we're listening, and then we get home and finish the call. And he was so into it. At one point, my phone died, and he's like, Mom, hurry up. I don't want to miss anything. And I just love, I think because I've always had a coach, and I believe in providing opportunities like that. It's like, how can I say that I want to coach to elevate and I have this son, a son at that, who's growing up in this world, and I not offer that same opportunity to him. I'm like, if he's in baseball and I have him with a batting coach, why not get him a life coach for his age?
Wow.
Like how, I don't know, it just makes sense to me. But also having a child who has a willing spirit and who's interested. I want to nurture that interest. And when I saw that he was engaged in it, I'm like, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
My daughter, True, she's a part of the 5th Degree Academy as well, and she loves it. Like, when I go on and teach, or when David's teaching, it was just so much information that's being given, and also, high influential people coming on, high network people coming on, and just giving so much energy and information away to these children and changing the world child by child.
Yeah.
So right now, man, there's some things going on in Florida. Are you aware of that? We're here right now in sunny California. We're just looking outside the window and the sun is out. The sky is clear, but it's crazy how on the other side of the world, not even the other side of the world, but on the other side of America, they're going through some things right now with the hurricane, with the winds and floods. Like, in regards to, from a real estate perspective, right? Like, how do you think something devastating like that would affect California in the real estate game?
Oh, it would. Well, for one, California, we're so used to, the sun and the sky and beautiful weather. And so I think having to navigate something like that, I think it would be a challenge. I definitely think it would be a time for all of us to really pull together and witnessing something like that happen right now in America is like, what do we need to do to start getting prepared, for the event that something happens? Because a lot of us are not. A lot of us are not prepared. I think about the resources that I have in my own house. I'm like, if something happened, I'm not prepared, but also being in the positions that we are in to support others, how do we prepare for others to be of service? What do we have in place, as a company to help support our agents? What type of systems do we have in place? And so it just causes you to think, like, get ready so you don't stay ready so you don't have to get ready is really what it brings to mind. And so looking at our emergency preparation systems to see that this is an example. I'm a part of a coaching community, and some of our coaches are affected right now. So there's a check-in. How are you guys doing? What do you need right now? And so while I'm here, I'm still affected because those that I care about are affected.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's just crazy how, and then, but here's the thing, right? It's like natural disasters happen, but then it's a point where, where some of these things, are they forced? Are they man-made? Because I seen something the other day where, it was planes going across the sky, making all of these chemtrails and stuff. And then next thing you know, the clouds were just forming in a weird way, making holes and circles in the sky. And it just looks so weird. And then boom, all of a sudden this happens. And then also I seen where the plane was circling around the area where the most affected, where it's being most affected. So I'm like, what's really happening? You know, and we're in a time right now where, I mean, AI is playing a big part of what we believe and what we see. And it's just like a pivotal moment. It's like, I feel like we're in a moment where we're coming out of the old world, moving into the new world. And there's so many things being thrown at us, because one thing I do know is that the higher ups understand that our minds are blank canvases. And so they can paint pictures in our heads. And then as we manifest as a whole, we make these things come true. You know, so this is like a very, very weird point in the world and in life for all of us, because it's just like, what do we believe? And although we're here in California and we know people going through it there in Florida, there's some people who may say it's not really as bad as it looks on TV. You know, it's not really as bad as it looks on the news. Granted, there are some people who are affected and we feel for those people, but it's just a matter of, man, what's really happening, what's really real and what's not. But on the side note, man, let's go back to pretty much, you know, like what it is that drives you to be the person you are today. If you can boil it down to 3 things that drives you to be the best version of yourself today, what are those 3 things?
It's such a big question. I think my faith, hands down my faith, and understanding that I've been given so much. You know, and I think I'm just grateful, you know, and I look back over my life, I think about where where he's brought me into where I am now. And I just feel like I have so many opportunities. How dare I not use them? You know, so that's probably all 3 in one. But also my kids, you know, my kids are really great kids. And I just want to leave a legacy for them. You know, I want to be the parent that God called me to be for them. You know, they were given to me. I'm just the vessel through which they've come, but I have to steward over that. And also, as I grow in these leadership positions, you know, as a co-founder of Anomaly Real Estate, I'll be the 2025 president for Women's Council of Realtors. That's coming up. You know, I'm just like, I'm being put in these positions to make impact and to support people. And so I have to show up. I have to, it's a responsibility. I have to go to bed on time. I have to wake up and you know, move my body and eat right so that I can have the right energy to have the right conversations and not lead people astray because I don't feel good. You know, so it's just, I think I think we all have a responsibility to show up, because every day is not promised. And I think when we wake up, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with it? You know, so.
Like, side note, you have really white teeth. What do you do to keep your teeth so white?
Brush them. I don't know.
Oh man, that's crazy. I'm trying to figure out the secret.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So like we spoke a lot about, you know, you and your son. You do have a daughter as well. And I want to know, like, was your mother involved in your life? Was she a go-getter? Was she a go-giver? And then also, is it easier or harder to raise a son versus a daughter?
Oh, that's a great question. So yes, I do have a daughter. She's a freshman in college. She just moved in about 3 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
So thank you. That's a huge milestone. That is just, I'm still navigating that. She has her autonomy, but I'm still like, what you doing? Where you at? You know, but she's grown. But yes, I have, my mom is a single mom and amazing, very independent, always made it happen, has always been my greatest cheerleader. She was tough on me when I was growing up though, because she had me really young and I didn't understand it then. I just thought she was mean, really. I just thought she just, but it was fear and it was having the to survive mentality. And her goal was to just make sure that I did what I needed to do so I can have different choices. And so I didn't realize that until literally once I remember when I graduated from high school, our church had a banquet for us and the parents came up and gave a speech and she was like, you know, all these years I had to be your mom well, now I can be your friend. Like, now I get to be your friend.
Wow.
And who she is now as a grandmother, I'm like, I don't know wwho you are, because you was not that. You were the nicest lady, not only to my kids, but to me. Like, she's so sweet. And I'm just like, oh my God. But my mom has always been present. I have an amazing dad too. Like, we connected later in life, but he's been like, I'm just so blessed. And so with raising a daughter and a son, you know, I learned about the disc profile. And so I'm a high SC. And my daughter was more challenging because her personality was just different. But after I had her take the disc test, and she's a DI. And I'm like, okay. So it's not, we just connect differently.
So she's a driver influencer?
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm more like, so she's kind of to the point, like, which as a mom, as a parent, can come off as disrespectful, right? If you're sensitive as a high S to people and their feelings and considerations, and she was a teenager too, so there was some of that as well. But I think just having a daughter, you want her to not get played, you want her to not be weak, and so I've had to learn how to just parent her in a way that she's strong, yet she's feminine, you know, and that's hard sometimes when you're single, when you're, you know, making everything happen, where you're constantly in these dual roles, you know, and so just, I'm learning to give her more grace as she navigates life. But I think I was strict on her because my mom was strict on me.
Gotcha.
And then my son, you know, he's my son. So he's also more like my personality.
Gotcha.
And so we communicate differently. He's very, you know, sensitive, not in a sensitive way, but he's empathetic. So it's easy to connect. He's checking for you to make sure you're good. So it's easier to communicate with that type of personality. And he's a mama's boy too. So
Gotcha. Yeah,
but I'm super blessed. They're both great.
And he's a strong kid too, man. Very intelligent. Like, he's definitely going to be a world shaker and a world leader.
Thank you.
Again, going back to the world though, like, there's so much things changing in this world, right? I went to a restaurant yesterday, and I was going to the bathroom, and, you know, normally it's the triangle, and it says either the, you know, gentleman or woman. And I went to one, it was blank. It was just like all white, and then it was a sign to the side. It was a sign on the side that said gender neutral. You know, like, how is it navigating raising a son in this world where things are just being so programmed into, like, the minds by, you know, television and social media and stuff like that? Like, how do you stay away from that and keep him just, like, you know, on the right path?
Yeah, you know, I think it's the world that they're growing up in. A lot of these changes are changes for us, but it's the norm for them, you know, and I think that's what you know, with my daughter, there was a point where, like I said a little bit before, like, I realized I'm a vessel, and so the goal is to just help her navigate this. The goal is to help him navigate, and we live in a world that is gender neutral, you know, but we have our own values, our beliefs. He knows we pray. He led our prayer this morning, you know, so we're rooted in our faith and our belief and our values, and so that's what I can control. You know, when he goes out into the world, he'll be exposed to the world, but he's also rooted in his faith. We have a very strong church family, a strong family that prays outside of our house. You know, his dad, like, he has support where he knows his values. So
wow, that's incredible. I really do love it. So listen, Latoria, we've really covered so much today within this short amount of time, and this conversation could go on and on and on, but I really just want to give you your flowers now and just commend you on how well you're raising your kids, on how well you're doing in business, brokerage, and, you know, elevating your life, elevating yourself, elevating your children. And, you know, if there's any last final words you would want to leave to anybody out there who's watching, what were some things that you'd like to say before we get out of here?
Thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity. This conversation could go on because you're an excellent interviewer.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you. I would just say, like, just show up. You know, like, I was having a conversation, one of my good friends, we went out to lunch yesterday, and, you know, one of the things that came up is that, like, yes, we have these pressures in the world and we have these positions that we feel, but really we just get to be who we are without pressure, really. Like, when I show up, you know, in my office, in our office, I am, for one, I'm working my own business, so I'm working alongside everyone, and I'm here to support everyone. And so there is no higher or lower. I'm here to do the work right alongside you. You know, when I'm a parent, I'm here to support my kids and guide them the best that I can. And so I think my feedback is just show up. Like, we are our own competition. There's no competition. You know, I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday, not better than you are today or yesterday. And just knowing that is like, we can't fail. Like, if you show up trying to be your best, like, you know what your best was yesterday, do better today. So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, just want to say thank you for joining us today on the Yumpyard podcast. And as always, oh, yeah.